Hi, my name is Daniel Webb, and today in my video, I wanted to address the reaction of the British Parliament to the colonies' growing independence and how the colonists reacted to the acts that were implemented by the Crown. For my references, I used articles from the Britannica Library, the textbook Exploring American Histories, and an article from the Gale Encyclopedia by Thomas Raikes. So, as the colonies developed and grew, the British Crown grew worrisome of losing their political and economical control over them. As the sphere grew, Parliament enacted several taxes on the colonies called Acts. Such acts as the Stamp, Townshend, and others, including the Coercive Acts, were used to aid the British government in controlling the colonies. Parliament enacted these taxes to assist in their efforts for the protection and defense and security of the colonies, or so they would say. A huge effort to tie the colonies ever so closer to their distant motherland. However, this attempt was more restricting than it was aiding. Colonists quickly resisted such acts as they were implemented. Such acts were even titled as the Intolerable Acts by the colonists. The acts did not aid the colonists, and they greatly limited their efforts to develop the colonies. For example, the first act passed on the colonies was the Stamp Act. This act was a tax on all printed materials, taxing paper goods such as legal documents, playing cards, calendars, contracts, etc. All paper goods were pre-stamped and fabricated by British merchants. It then would be imported to the colonies for distribution and commerce. This process greatly increased the cost of paper, as each unit was taxed instead of paying a single duty within the year like other taxes. All goods were purchased were required to be purchased in British currency. This act not only restricted the colonists financially, but also restricted their production of paper in local mills and companies, destroying their independence. All the acts destroyed all of the independence that the colonies had developed, and they were trying to force a dependence on British trade. However, colonists did not easily give into such ploys. These acts were recognized as unconstitutional, and they developed the slogan, "No taxation without representation." This was because colonists were being taxed without colonial representation in Parliament. Protesting continued as colonists participated in boycotts, propaganda, and even revolts. In response to the Townshend Act that taxed the trade of certain goods, such as tea, colonists invaded British cargo and threw 342 chests of tea overboard. This famous event is called the Boston Tea Party. These acts, as an attempt to maintain control over the colonies, instead pushed the colonies away. Colonists became more unified as they came together to resist unlawful behavior. It even led to the first meeting of the Continental Congress in their attempts to challenge Parliament's authority. And these were the reactions of the colonies to Parliament's acts and their taxes that they discovered were unfair and lawful.